Let's go. Here's
You see
a
my daughter?
call from a 989
She's a
area
mega
code.
babe. It's true.
Who's this?
This is David from Michigan, I think.
David, what's on your mind?
Okay, I'm calling up for a specific reason, mainly to criticize David Pakman, and because he did last week.
Who are you going to criticize?
David Pakman.
David Pakman?
Yeah.
Okay.
David Pakman is an asshole, but not on YouTube.
Where is
Totally different dude.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're calling to
Did I
criticize
say
David
his name
Pakman.
wrong?
Okay. Yeah.
Did I say his name wrong?
It's Pakman, but it's
Did I
okay.
do it?
It's okay.
Okay, well, I want to do it. Okay, here's what I want to say. Years ago, Alexander Coburn, who was a problematic figure in his own way, who was the head of Counterpunch, when Christopher Hitchens died, he wrote an article that said, years ago I used to warn people about Hitch, that he wasn't really that left, that people at the left-wing book publications, they wouldn't listen to me. I want to say a similar thing now to the left YouTube audience. Watch out for David Pakman. 5-10 years from now, I know Michael's friendly with him, but I think he's going to do a complete 180 and go right wing. Because he did.
Why do you say this?
Because he's on that Sam Harris regressive left type bandwagon. Last week he did it. I don't know if you see. He had an interview with a journalist named Sulome Anderson. Now, she wrote an article where she criticized the video he did, where he basically bashed Reza Aslan. It wasn't even a big thing, a part of her article. It was one little photograph, and there were a bunch of his trolls went after her. And eventually she went on her show, and she admitted she didn't have enough information, and she didn't do enough homework, so basically he threw statistics at her, and she didn't look good. But in my opinion, that allowed him to get away with a bunch of what I think is either A, willful ignorance or outright lies. Because like he said, he was disputing that, female genital mutilation is mostly in all, there's no, non-Muslim country where it isn't prevalent. And it was yes, there is. Liberia, which is 85% Christian, has a 50% rate. And they brought up Eritrea, and he said, Eritrea, yes, it's majority Christian, but it's only 52% Christian. In actuality, that's not true. It's actually 63% Christian. That's an outdated statistic. And to take it off, do you know what country has, until recently had the highest rate of FMGM? I mean, Nigeria. Now, Nigeria only has a 25% rate, but a majority of
I'm losing. I got to be honest with you. I'm losing.
So
I'm losing
David
the.
Pakman can suck it.
Okay. Well, I sort of lost the thread on all the percentages because I'm not familiar with this stuff. I think it's largely nonsense, to be honest with you. All that they call it new atheism. I don't know what that means. Really, frankly, I mean,
Don't
atheism
like Muslims.
that's what it seems to mean.
Positivism with bad foreign policy.
But I will take it up with David next time I see him.
David Pakman is a
Sorry.
homo. It's really true. This is John Miller. He is no conservative.
Appreciate the call.
Nigeria's garbage, Muslim, Christian, whatever. You
Wait,
ever been to that place?
What was the argument now with the
Are you asking me, right-wing Mandela, about what?
about the percentages? About the percentages?
Or John Miller.
That there was supposedly no Christian majority countries?
Or that it correlates strongly.
So
with...
I did not watch. Yeah, so basically I haven't watched David's video on Reza. People have asked me about it. I haven't watched it. And the point is that Reza, a while ago on CNN, complicated the narrative that genital mutilation is only a product of Muslim societies.
Oh, so they do it in Eritrea.
They do it in Eritrea. They do it in Nigeria. Although, I think the historical reality is that it's not traditionally a Muslim practice, but probably is done in often and predominantly in Muslim countries. But it's
Well,
just another one of
Malcolm
these
Nance
things.
made the point that a lot of this
Yes.
stuff is cultural and as opposed to being religiously based.
All I could say, and this applies,
You know where they do genital mutilation as well?
upstate New York.
Israel. And also they did it in the same hospital room that
That was
that I was
it
in.
was very uncomfortable. But ouch. But I think that beyond
At least the Jews have a little nosh when they do it.
yeah, at least I think that they
That's
did.
the
They're
nice
more
thing.
considerate. It's just a little bit more civilized. But actually, I
more
think that's the
civilized, of
issue.
course.
All of these people across that whole spectrum, even without knowing any specific thing that David has or hasn't said, but all of them, from Sam Harris, anybody in that kind of general silo, it just seems to me it always sort of correlates with a policy perspective on Israel that I find problematic.
That's a coincidence.
Right.
That's a coincidence.
Because everything
Michael.
and then everything is politics, and the great irony.
I
of these
remember
new
seeing a
atheists,
Sam Harris video where he
Jesus
was
Christ.
addressing a brotherhood in I can't remember if it was in California, and he was selling his book. He seemed like a very nice
Very
boy.
sweet. No, and he always will say that Christians are bad and blah blah blah. But I'm just saying that the irony of
Christians are
that whole
horrible.
movement
Of
is
course
that,
they are.
and Muslims are the worst. The irony of that whole movement is that they're constantly going on and on about material conditions and understanding the world in a material way, but then their whole focus is on this notion of abstract ideas when really it's mostly a policy agenda driving this stuff. Like if you go to the roots of Islamophobia in the United States, like the Islamophobia industry that Eli Clifton did at Center for American Progress a couple years ago, all of this stuff is funded by neocons, by far right.
I'm sure
people.
that's I'm sure that's a coincidence,
go.
Michael. I'm sure that's a
Well,
coincidence.
he's a great new
Please,
character.
okay. I'm sure
Friendly, dismissive old Jew.
that's exactly. I'm sure that's a coincidence.
I've never met
I'm
one so
absolutely
friendly
sure
before.
that's a coincidence. Don't
That's
you
the only
see?
part that doesn't
don't
work.
you see that if we do not get to the forefront of saying that Muslim people are bad, then the right wing will do it.
Because then we
And
say
then-
the Muslims
and
are
everyone
bad,
knows-
but I like that Zayn Malik very much.
Yes.
The conservatives will not say this.
That's right. Then you'll have we have to have the ability to say, keep the Muslims out, except for some of the wealthy ones.
Couple of them.
Because
they
if
do
we don't
computer
say
programming.
that, then Donald Trump would say that before us.
Yes, and it's then
That's
or
the
even
problem,
me.
of course.
Barack
We've got
Obama.
to
He's
fill-
a Muslim
we've got to fill the
swatcher,
vacuum.
but a very good father.
Yes, Kelly, the Shiksa would like to speak.
The Shiksas always want to speak.
Here we go.
Always.
There we
This
go.
is a lot of
Okay.
Shiksa opinions on Jew business.
Okay.
Yeah, it's hard to get a word in. So I just
Oh.
would like to point out that you can't compare circumcision to female genital mutilation. That
Oh.
There are some people on the internet that are
Absolutely
going to be upset
incorrect.
with you.
Well, as
is
parents, someone who's
there are
got
some people on the internet that
someone
are
who's
going to
gone-
be upset with
a
me.
Shiksa who's gone through neither comments.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
The purpose-
Fascinating.
I don't know if the purpose, the result of female genital mutilation is
To desensitize.
exactly
It's very simple. What you do is you cut the tip
not
off,
just
and then the Rebbe
desensitize,
cleans
but-
it out with his mouth.
but completely
Very sweet.
remove the aspect of pleasure,
yes.
from the sex act, and that is only for females and it is a cultural thing as far as I understand, and that is nothing like
The
circumcision.
subjugation of women is really only a Muslim phenomenon.
Yeah, that's all. It's the only place that.
Hello, you. I'm Sam Seder. Looking for smart progressive talk that is occasionally amusing? Well, subscribe to our YouTube feed. Subscribe to our podcast. Like us on Facebook. And just generally enjoy us.